Welcome to today's presentation on Future Generations University's Master of Arts in Applied Community Development. Thank you for taking the time to learn about what we have to offer. My name is Chris Roper, and I am the Director of Student Affairs at Future Generations University. I'm going to give you a quick background of Future Generations, talk a little bit about the master's program and how to apply through our unique alternative admissions process. And then we're lucky to have with us a student who has gone through the alternative admissions track to talk about her experience at Future Generations University. So let's get into it. So, what is Future Generations University? We are a small university headquartered in West Virginia. This is a picture of our headquarters on North Mountain in Pendleton County, outside of the town of Franklin. We are focused on one thing, applied community development. So, what does that mean? We define community to be a group of people with a shared interest and the ability to act on that shared interest. Development development refers to progress or making things better. And applied means doing it. So our students don't just learn how to make their communities better in a theoretical sense. They actually go out and make their communities better as a part of their master's program. And this is how it works. We have a blended learning model. Classes meet live online for 75 minutes each week. All coursework, which includes readings, videos, PowerPoint presentations, is completed and graded online. And all lab work is done within your community. So you take what you are learning in class and apply it directly to your community. Our students are already doing great things when they come to us. We help them learn how to do it more effectively. Here's a little background. Future Generations was founded in 1992 under a mandate from UNICEF. Jim Grant, the head of UNICEF at the time, wanted to find out how to create community-driven change that was both sustainable and scalable. He had seen that the amount of resources spent on a project or a country didn't seem to matter. The number of experts who worked on a project didn't seem to matter. So he created a task force led by our former president, Daniel Taylor, and his father, renowned public health expert Carl Taylor, to find the answer. The team gathered evidence of successes and failures from around the world, synthesized what had worked, and came up with a method of grassroots community-led development that came to be known as seed scale. The keys were that impetus for change had to come from the community, and it had to come from a broad consensus within the community. Government officials, NGOs, and outside experts could play important roles, but the change had to come from within the community. And rather than setting about to fix problems, successful community development builds from success. What does the community already do well? Does it have a successful sports team? Does it have a specific craft that its members do particularly well? Does it celebrate a festival? The key is to pick something that most people in the community agree is a success and find ways that the community can work together to make that success even better and spread the benefits of that success more broadly throughout the community. Future generations tried this method out in various places around the world and found universal early success, and so decided to become a graduate school to train community development practitioners in seed scale. The graduate school was accredited by the Higher Learning Commission in 2010 to offer a Master of Arts degree in Applied Community Development. We now have alumni in 42 countries around the world with affiliated NGOs in Afghanistan, Nepal, India, China, Appalachia, Ethiopia, and Haiti. So here is a list of the courses that we currently offer. 4 courses are required for the master's. Introduction to Community Change, which is the seed part of seed scale. Taking Impact to Scale, which is the scale part. Social Research Methods, and Synthesis and Integration. The intro course and Taking Impact to Scale need to be taken sequentially, and Synthesis and Integration needs to be taken in the last or second to last semester. Not all classes are taught each year, but these 4 are. The master's degree is a minimum of 32 credits. So, in addition to the 12 credits from the four required courses, you'll earn 20 credits in other ways. You can take all taught courses, or you can do an independent project or internship, which I'll talk a little more about in a bit. In addition to regularly taught courses, we offer residential field courses, which are short-term educational travel opportunities. Next January, we'll study examples of community development projects in Nepal, and in the summer of 2026, we'll explore Uganda, looking at future generations university alumni-led development projects around the country. These field courses are a great way to meet your fellow students from around the world in person and to see many of the concepts you've learned and applied in your own community applied in different contexts. Here's another way to visualize the degree, highlighting the flexibility. You take the four required courses, usually over 4 semesters. You then build the rest of the degree however it best fits your interests and needs through a combination of taught courses and experiential learning in the form of independent projects and or field courses. So what does the master's program look like? As I mentioned before, we use a blended learning model. Classes are held online, meeting in person once a week for 75 minutes. Coursework is also online. This consists of videos, readings, PowerPoint presentations, and quizzes. Perhaps most importantly, your lab work is done in your community. You take the concepts that you learn in class and apply them directly to the work you are doing, either as a part of your job or in your volunteer community work. That way, when you graduate, you'll have earned your master's degree and you'll have helped your community grow and improve in a meaningful way. The program is flexible to meet your needs. Some people have the time and energy to take 3 classes per semester. Others don't. Some people have a lot of experience in certain topics that we teach. They can earn credit for that experience. So if you already do a lot of communications work, or if you already do a lot of monitoring and evaluation in your current job, you can apply for a prior learning assessment and get credit for that experience. We'll help you with internships. If you want to get credit for work that you are currently doing in your job, we will work with you to set up an internship, even if it is within your current place of employment. You can also get credit for independent research or independent study. Once you've learned the basics of seed scale, we will work with you to tailor the degree to your needs. So what can you do with this degree? Here are some of the fields that our graduates have gone into. Our alumni are doing work with food security, women's empowerment, environmental sustainability, indigenous peoples' rights, poverty alleviation, child welfare, education, and as we'll talk about in a bit, much more. Basically, any job that looks to affect change and help people help themselves to a better future. So we're going to talk a little bit about the alternate admissions track. If you have a bachelor's degree, it's pretty straightforward to apply. You can go to the admissions page at www.future.edu, fill out the application, and submit a letter of recommendation, a statement of purpose, and your CV or resume. But what if you don't have a bachelor's degree? And that's what we're here to talk about today. At just about every other university in the world, if you don't have a bachelor's, you can't get a master's. At Future Generations University, we offer a unique alternative admissions process specifically for non-traditional students. You can simply enroll in classes. Take a class or two and see how you like it. If you're intrigued, take some more. If you take 4 classes for credit for a total of 12 credits and earn a B or better in each, you are automatically qualified for admission to the master's program. And that's it. By taking 4 courses and doing well, you have demonstrated that you are capable of doing graduate level work. And you can ask to join the master's program by getting a letter of recommendation from one of your Future Generations professors and writing a statement of purpose about how the program thus far has impacted your work and what completing the master's degree will mean for you and your community. So we make it easy to start. You will still be held to the same standards as everyone else, and this isn't an easy degree. But you'll also find that across the whole institution, we will work with you to ensure that you're making the most of your time with us and that you'll come out on the other end with the skills you need to lead your community. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are lucky to have a master's student who joined us via the alternative admissions track with us today. Catherine started at Future Generations University in August of 2023 and will be graduating this month after completing an independent project at her church. She has completed her degree while leading a very busy life. She lives in Moorfield, West Virginia with her husband and five children. Through her job at the Potomac Highlands Guild, she is the Substance Use Community Prevention Liaison for Region 2 in West Virginia. She is the youth pastor at the Moorfield Church of God and is the lead advisor for the U304 Coalition. Finally, she is involved with the Hardy County Public School System as a member of the Federal Program Advisory and the 21st Century Community Learning Center committees. Catherine, welcome and thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I have some questions up on the screen that I'd like to like you to talk about. I'll ask them, and then if anything else comes up, I'll throw some new questions at you that you haven't seen yet. Um, so, so first, hi, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you. And first question, how did you find out about Future Generations University, and why did you choose to start taking classes here?
I found out about Future Generations University through a colleague at my work, um, who had mentioned that he thought it would be a great fit for me because I had attended college previously and never finished because life happens. And he thought that I met the standards and would be a perfect fit. So I started taking classes because to go back to school with five children and a full-time job to meet the demands of a regular bachelor's degree program was not in the cards for me. This seemed like a way I would finally be able to obtain my dreams of getting a college degree, being a first generation college graduate while I continued to work and raise my children.
Perfect. Yep, that's why we designed it that way. So do you feel that not having a bachelor's degree has put you at a disadvantage in the program in any way? And if so,
No,
how did you overcome it? No? Okay, good.
no, I don't. I work a very prior to becoming the community prevention liaison, worked as the peers and jails coordinator for the state of West Virginia for all of the 10 regional jails, and worked the work that I've done at Potomac Highlands Guild kind of prepared me for what I was going to learn in community development and through seed scale. I kind of was already practicing what seed scale was all about. I just didn't know that that's what I was doing.
Good, perfect. So what surprised you most, or what has surprised you most during your time as a student here?
I think it was what I just said, the seed scale and community development and building from your successes, um, growing from your successes. That is what a lot of working in the recovery field we do, is
Mhm.
not focusing on the deficits, but focusing on the positives. And I was already doing seed scale in my work and kind of throughout my community service work. And I didn't realize it until I started taking courses. And through that, I realized this is something we kind of do every day and we don't realize it.
That's great. Yeah. So, what do you think's been the most important lesson or skill that you've learned as a student?
The incorporation of building from the bottom up, top down, and outside in. Um, a lot of times, especially again, working in the recovery field and in prevention, your dynamic is trying to help the people that are at the bottom and not understanding the dynamic of using the outside in to help
Mhm.
connect with the top down and how those all work together to synthesize and make the community grow and the community succeed. Um, Learning those steps and the theory behind it and how it works and how the human energy is working together make that seed grow. I think that was it. That was the most important lesson.
All right, so that's probably very similar, related to the last question I have here, which is um, how has your experience at Future Generations impacted how you approach community development in your current role?
So I just actually had this conversation with people that work in the prevention field now, and I said everyone who works in prevention should have to go through a community development course because prevention is very much getting people to understand why it's important to educate our youth and to teach them the skills to cope with life and to deal with situations now so that they don't fall into the pattern of a substance use as an adult. And Seed Scale helps do that. Everything I learned through Future Generations, I now use logic models and use strategic plans to develop and implement those programs in a prevention setting. And I use
Perfect.
it in my work through developing a youth coalition as well.
Okay. Well, I think that that's what adds actually. So another question I had. So you're working on an independent project right now. Can you talk a little bit about that project and what it is and what you are how you're using what you've learned at Future Generations in the project?
Sure. So in April, a group of fellow youth pastors and myself were talking about how we could get the youth of our region together to um, do activities and kind of to build on their relationship, their spirituality, but also to um, learn to find a voice and advocate for things that they feel passionate about that they see need changed in our area. So we decided to develop this U304 coalition. Um, I've used everything I learned through Seed Scale, through community development and Seed Scale in developing this youth coalition. Asking different stakeholders, holding focus groups with the youth and with community partners on what did they think would help make this successful. And so from there, we developed our mission statement, our vision. We had a kickoff event, and in January we will start having weekly meetings. And the kids have the youth have great ideas for um, tobacco and vaping prevention, anti-bullying, many things that they want to um, kind of voice their opinion on and just make change in their communities. So everything that again, I can't every single part of what I've learned in Future Generations, it didn't just it's impacted me personally, but it's also helped me to share that with others and how we grow from our success instead of just focusing on what is wrong, focusing on what we have, what are we doing right, and how can we make that grow. And our youth is a great place to start.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm excited to see how that progresses. I hope you keep us updated with with that. That sounds exciting. So, last question. You mentioned, or as we said, you are a mom. You have five kids. You have a busy life. A busy job, work life. You have a very busy volunteer life. Plus, you were going to school. How did you balance all that? And what was that like? That's like as I was saying before we started here, that's a lot of work. You you were busy. You are busy.
Yes. But the instructors are very understanding. I mean, there were times that I had to ask for extensions because there were other major life events that happened in that time of just what you said that I needed to get extensions. They were understanding. If I had questions and didn't understand the projects, didn't understand the assignments that needed to be turned in, they would go above and beyond to make sure that I did understand what was going on. My employer was very good about letting me have time to complete some work during work hours and to study. So everyone, it, myself completing Future Generations in itself was kind of a seed scale because everyone played a part in helping Catherine complete her studies to get to this master's degree. So
That's great. That's great. Well, you've done a great job. Okay, well, thank you very much. That was a great conversation. Just quickly, as I mentioned before, the application process is pretty simple. You take four 3 credit courses, including Intro to Community Change, and you earn a B or better, and you're automatically eligible for admission. If you go to the alternative admissions track webpage listed here, you can register as an alternative admission student, which will alert us in the academic administrative team to your intentions. But you can also simply go to any course page and sign up for an individual course and start that way. We offer a 2 credit graduate student success seminar in July that we strongly recommend for students who do not have a bachelor's degree from a U.S. institution. Um, or for those who might have a bachelor's degree but don't have it might have graduated before the widespread use of online learning management systems. This course, the Graduate Student Success Seminar, introduces you to our learning technologies and sets you up for success in the program. The course does not count towards your admission, does not count towards those 12 credits, but the credits do count towards your master's degree should you continue onto the degree. Lastly, tuition at Future Generations is $800 per credit. So each 3 credit course is $2,400, and the Graduate Student Success Seminar is $1,600. There are no other fees, no books, materials, supplies, and you pay as you go based on how many credits you are taking. So if you take one course for a semester, you just pay for that course. If you take 3 courses, you pay for 3 courses. Um, and also, if you choose to go on one of the field courses that I mentioned earlier, which would count towards those your 12 credits for the alternative admissions track, then you'll pay tuition and the cost of getting to the course, whether it's Nepal, Uganda, India, wherever. All in-country program costs once you get there, beyond tuition are covered. So accommodations are covered, travel within the country, meals, that sort of thing. That's all covered. So it's a great way to see other parts of the world and learn about community development projects there. Um, and so that's it. If you are viewing this subsequently and you have questions, please feel free to email me at chris.roper@future.edu. You can also schedule a meeting with me at the address shown here on the page. Um, but that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again, Catherine, for joining us.
thanks for having me.